We were pretty famous back in high school.
Trust us. Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast.
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. Now you're a loser. Now you're a big old loser. Yes, well. I mean, let's jump into it, huh?
No, yeah, well.
You don't want to? Let's dive. Should we dive? Let's dive into it. You don't want to? You're not in a jumping mood. Let's dive.
Let's
ease into it.
My knees have been getting worse.
Let's ease into it.
Can you dive with ease?
Well, it's easy to dive if that's what you're asking.
Is it? Not always.
You just have to fall into the water. That's not hard.
Yeah. So
it's not hard. It's not easy to dive gracefully, but just to dive doesn't take a lot.
Let me say it on this aspect of the idea of diving is easy because it is just basically, tipping yourself forward and going into the water. However, when I was younger, I always did find it difficult if I was looking and then would go, I would panic almost immediately, and then you're like, and then you kind of freak out and fall in not gracefully. So whenever I actually dive into water, which I haven't done in decades,
right? Doctor's orders.
I literally close my eyes when I dive into the water, so I don't look at what I'm doing, because otherwise I will freak out for a second, and because I'm like, oh, this isn't how my body's supposed to be going.
You're not talking just as you're about to enter the water, the whole process of diving. Thing. Your eyes are closed?
The whole thing, I close my eyes, and then I just focus on what I'm doing with my body and not looking at my environment around me.
What if you end up going through a portal and then you don't even realize it?
Well, I mean, I'd open my eyes once I'm in the water.
Right, but what if the portal took you to a different pool?
Oh, I mean, I'd figure it out once I got to the surface.
Wouldn't that would freak you out, right?
Oh, yeah, that would be a whole new panic situation happening then at that point.
And then your eyes, you would affix open for the remainder of the panic?
Oh, I mean, I would still have to blink.
And not if you, force your eyes to stay open.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to blink.
Chlorinated water is not necessarily great for keeping your eyes nice and, moisturized.
Yeah, but this happens after you exit the new mystery pool.
Yeah, well, then they're just going to straight up dry out.
They're going to dry out straight up.
Yep.
So you won't be able to look down or left or right.
You got an intro?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Hey, welcome to High School Famous. It's a podcast Reese Witherspoon once called her agent and said she'd like to be in the next Scorsese picture. Sorry, I should have paused there. Those were two separate statements.
You gave me a lot of shit for mine last week.
This was awesome.
No.
I maintain that it was an awesome intro. Were you able to separate and figure out the two separate statements?
I'll do it later. I can put a little pause in there for you with editing.
No, you shouldn't do that. That would
defeat the whole purpose of what you did.
Yeah, it would.
Make you look weird.
Maybe sound weird.
True. Nothing could make you look weirder than you already do.
Yeah, it could.
Zinger.
What if I lost my face? What if
how would you lose a face?
Face off, dude.
Lose implies to misplace.
Yeah. I dove into a pool. I accidentally went through a portal, woke up in a different pool without a face. Check the history books. It's happened. Oh, I didn't say Earth's history books.
Oh.
Check, the history books of
all worlds.
AXZ10, that exoplanet near the icy space sea.
All right.
We have a very, very old guest on
who's
our
been
show
very
today.
quiet.
Yeah, I'm guessing
old.
We didn't say talk yet. I'm guessing he had his mic muted the whole time, so that
he did.
I mean, I saw him crying from laughter after I read my intro.
Oh, I thought
And
you
so-
meant out of like just impassioned at how brilliant this has gone so far. He was just
No, he's-
brought to tears.
He's
If
crying
I could
as a
speak
result
yet,
of
I
his,
would agree with Sean. I was enamored
He's-
with all the humor.
he was crying as a result of his advanced age.
I am old.
Yeah. You're younger than both of us, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Take that,
Damn it, that's
You-
true.
you fogies.
Not by a lot, though, right?
Why do you? My one question is, why do you both dye your beards to make it appear as
don't-
though there's no gray in either of them?
I don't. I have.
I have
gray
never
here.
dyed my beard recently.
You've never done it recently.
No, 'cause I was
You've
about to say, I've
never
never
dyed-
dyed my beard, but I remember I used to dye it like when
oh,
way
you
back in the
did
day.
do that when you're trying
Because
to
it
be
was growing in
goth.
super patchy and it was super, super light. So I would like darken it so that it was visible. But I have not done that since it grew in less patchy.
I vaguely remember that. What would it take for you, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
to shave off your beard? And don't
What
just say
would
like
it-
a certain amount of money. Don't be like, oh, $1
No.
million.
No, I was going to be a smartass and say it would take like a razor. I don't think anybody could offer me any. I mean, obviously an extraordinary amount of money. I would be like, sure, whatever. I don't care because I'll just grow it back. But I don't know.
I use Easy
Probably
Top.
nothing. I don't care. I just don't. No, I mean, it doesn't really get any longer than this. It's just kind of gotten to this length, and then it hasn't really gone much longer than this.
I think.
I mean, I
made mine
trim
about
it
that.
occasionally, but not much.
I think the bottom half of your face might be dead.
That's how it works.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
It takes all the
because-
life force and pulls it down into the follicles. That's what gives you a thick beard.
yeah. So what you're
Um,
stroking is your life force that used to be
Yeah.
in your body.
I
Now it's
stroke
for
my
anyone.
life force
Now,
multiple times a day.
now it's for anyone to stroke. Anyone can just go up and stroke your life force.
Yeah, it's not polite. I've
grew
had
a
way
beard
too
to
many
give myself a
incidences where
chin.
people would just touch me without asking, and it's not okay.
Right. But I mean, I think be understanding of their position. How often are they finding themselves in the position to be able to stroke someone else's life force? It's like seeing a celebrity in the wild, just like you don't want to bother them, but when else are you going to get a chance to go up and talk to them and say how much you love their work and try to get a selfie with them? This is the same thing. They're seizing the rare opportunity to be able to stroke your life force.
But there's still a proper way to go about it. You don't just do it without asking, is what I'm getting at.
Sure, no one said they're
Now-
not asking.
Okay, so I've never had anybody just stroke my beard without asking. However, for 9 years, I had very long dreadlocks. I'm telling this to you guys as if you didn't know.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, I used to have very long dreadlocks, and people would constantly just walk up and touch them without asking me. And it was
That is weird.
it was
up,
weird
Mike.
and rude.
We haven't properly introduced you yet.
I've been waiting. This
John
whole time.
hasn't given you permission to speak. We did that to Adam too.
All
we?
I want
I
to know
can-
is, what if Sean came up and didn't ask but started stroking your beard?
I would more so question Sean because that would be weird behavior for him.
What if he was just like, life force, dude?
I'd be like, I'm trying to get the stuff out.
That's how he strokes
What
it.
stuff?
Huh?
What stuff?
The life
It's life
stuff.
force.
The life
The
stuff.
force, the stuff
The
force.
semen in your beard.
Yeah, the
The life in your
whoever's,
beard.
whoever's
Yeah,
semen
those-
that is, I'm trying to get it out.
Yeah.
Damn Navy.
We'll get into the dad joke, and then we'll go back to a semen story here, and once I'm done with that.
Oh, is there you have a different semen story?
Sort of.
Bury the lead.
Like burying the anyway. So, hey, what's scaly, big, and can eat more nights than a dragon?
I don't know.
Mike, any guesses?
Hmm.
2 dragons. You see, the thing about dragons is one dragon can only eat as much as one dragon can eat. So
I enjoyed
know.
the fanfare of you throwing the card as you.
that's my thing.
Oh man.
That's my thing. All right. So what's happening there,
Seaman story?
fellas?
By the way, I'm Matt.
I am
Sean, and we have a guest. Snooze Magoo is back.
Snooze Magoo.
Hello,
Is it Magoo?
everybody.
I
Please.
looked.
Magoo?
It's Magoo. It's always
Magoo.
I
been
looked.
Magoo.
See, the A is silent.
Well,
I
it's
looked
a
to
soft
see
A.
when the
Like a-
last time
the lazy A.
Mikey was on, and I thought it was way more recently than this. But the last time you were on was in November of 21.
It was busking with their Lele.
No, it was
What?
after the Chappelle Show thing.
Oh, that was
yeah.
after that. Oh, yeah. Well, oddly enough, this is funny because you and I had gone to that show, and that's what we talked about on the podcast. Right now, I'm going to talk about a show I was at last night, which was also at the Target Center.
Which
Was
is
it
a
with-
terrible place to see a show, by the way.
Well, it depends.
It is Target Center's audio quality is awful.
Depends on the show, you know. I mean, the stand-up part was fine.
Yeah.
The music could
Yeah,
have been better, but so this was the Impractical Jokers were performing at the Target Center last night. We're not able to fill the Target Center last night.
that seems like a huge venue for them.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah, it was
I think their minds are still in the Joe is part of our group success level.
Yeah.
So, and they're not making those same numbers anymore, it seems. But I was checking SeatGeek and tickets that were I got 2 tickets on the section floor 1, row 9. So I was 9 rows back. And the tickets normally before fees are about $100 a piece. And somebody was desperate to sell their 5 tickets. And so I got them for a little bit under $50 a piece.
You bought all 5 of them?
No. I only bought 2. I only bought 2. So I brought Leo with me because he likes the Impractical Jokers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the suggested age limit is 16.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah, the opening act was someone named Joe DeRosa, who is a stand-up, and he also does the Taste Buds podcast with Sal. So he was their opener.
Oh, yeah.
And-
He's not a clean comic.
Nope, he had a story about how he was going to get his prostate checked out, and they told him that they needed him to provide a semen sample.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole story was that he had to go to an office that was in a suite among a bunch of offices in a big suite of offices. And they said, here's a cup. The men's room is out this door, down the hall, and to the right or something. So he's like, wait a minute, I have to use the public men's room to do this? He's like, is this legal? And there was no visual aid provided. And he had lots of comments about that. And so it was a little uncomfortable.
Lesson learned?
Yeah, and the Jokers themselves were pretty clean, but there was a point where, have you guys heard of the show Misery Index?
No.
It ran for like 3 seasons. It was on TBS. It was a game show where Jamila Jamil was the host, and then all the tenderloins or the Jokers were on there, and they all had they paired up in teams of 2, and they each had just some contestant on there, and they had to read real life, like miserable sounding headlines or news stories that are real. And then the contestants had to sort of gauge how miserable that would be on a scale of this or that. And sometimes it's comparing 2 stories, like what's worse, this one or this one.
Right.
And based on a panel of experts. And the Jokers would help them kind of guide their decision because they're like, we go through misery all the time with punishments, blah, 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 blah. So they were, during the pandemic, they were going to do a Zoom call with the network wanted Jamila Jamil and then the 3 Jokers to get on a Zoom call for the advertisers to try to attract advertisers because they couldn't have their big giant advertiser party. And so they have like 150 different other people on the Zoom that are all from, advertising agencies or companies, like Nike and all this sort of stuff. And but all that just to make it feasible for them to do this, the only ones that the Jokers and Jamila could see were all each other. They couldn't see all the advertisers, so they were just talking to each other about they were going to do a mini episode of this Misery Index show. And the first news story was about some woman who experiences orgasmic something or other. when teaching a class or something weird. I forget exactly what it was. And then Sal said something like, well, this is something about mothers. All mothers know what this feels like because we're here. They've had relations, and so they know what that feels like. And then Merge just decides to jump in and tell a story about how his mom told them all that for a long time, until late into her adulthood, that she never knew what a clit was. And Q's face, his jaw dropped. And then Sal like covered his mouth and was like, what? Just, they're both in shock that he said this. And he like kind of forgot that all these advertisers were on the Zoom call as well because he couldn't see them. So he's like, yeah, the show got canceled. But then after that, they played that rest of that Zoom thing, and they focused on Q's face looking stunned and all this, and Sal's reaction and stuff like that. And then Mer's like, well, it is a funny story. Do you guys want to hear the whole story? And I'm like, no, please don't tell the whole story. Any other time, maybe, but not right now. Please don't tell the whole story. So he told the story.
Of course.
Yes. So maybe don't bring a youngin' to one of these shows.
Yeah, if you would have said that to me prior to doing it, I probably would have suggested that you don't bring him.
Yeah, well, I thought
because you've seen them live before, so
yeah,
I'm
but
assuming that wasn't as much, because otherwise you would have immediately been like, nah, this is not going to be a good idea.
Yeah, and because I feel like when Joe was there, it was a little more tame. Maybe he was like, I got kids. We need to make this
I wonder if they're just trying to get edgier now that Joe's not there to help support the show anymore.
From what I understand, their earlier shows, when like the Impractical Jokers was a little more new, they were pretty bad. They were pretty explicit. But then they tried to, because so many people would say, "Oh, I love you guys, but I would love to be able to bring my kids to your show, but you guys are a little intense for that." So they tamed it down so that families could come and enjoy the show as well. Like parents could bring their kids. And so that appears to be somewhat out the window. And there's a little, I don't know what their earlier shows were, like how bad they were, but they seem to have maybe reversed it a little bit. But the kicker of the night was, and I feel bad now because Leo got really upset, but I'll explain why maybe it wasn't a good idea. They were like, hey, we know it says 16 plus, but we know a lot of times we end up seeing, some younger kids at our shows. Some parents just bring younger kids. And so they're trying to suss out who's maybe the youngest kid here, this and that. And we're in ninth row. Leo's got a white t-shirt on. They spot him. They're like, hey, you in the white t-shirt, how old are you? And he's like being really like, he doesn't want to talk. And they were trying to get him to come up on stage.
Right.
They were trying to get Leo to go up on stage, and he was like, just didn't want to do it. And they're like, one of the security guys come by. He's like, hey, do you want to go up there? They're asking you to go up there. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, are you sure, Leo? You want to go up there? Go up on stage. And he just didn't want to do it. And I'm not going to force him or anything.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it's okay, Leo. Don't worry. So they just brought some other 12-year-old kid that he's taller than Sal. He's 12 years old. He looked like he was not 12 years old, but once you hear him talk, you could tell. But anyway, there's a punishment where Sal, in a couple episodes, they strap these like shock collars to his arms and legs, and he has to give like a tour in a museum. And the guys in the back have buttons, and they can shock him wherever and whenever they want. And he has to try to act like there's nothing weird's going on, but he's just being very spastic. So Sal was telling the story about how he got his 2 Jaden Smith tattoos, and the kid was able to shock Sal while he told the story.
Okay. And
so Leo was like, oh, why? I wish they would have told me. I would have loved to have done that. I wish they would have told me. I'm like, yeah, Leo, but they're not going to tell you because like it's a surprise, and they're just not going to. If I would have known, I would have told you, but they wouldn't. They didn't tell anybody. But I think it's better that he didn't do it, because before that, I knew he really had to go to the bathroom, and we had even gotten up during the middle of that part where the other kid was up there to go to the bathroom. I said, Leo, I know you. If you were up there shocking Sal on stage, you would have been laughing your head off, and you probably would have peed your pants. And then you would have been on stage in front of all those people with having peed your pants. And so, yes, you might have had fun, but that's a very high chance that would have happened. You would have then regretted going up there and been very embarrassed.
And then you would have had to pee your pants to make him feel better.
Yeah. or just pee on
On
his pants.
stage.
So it, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But,
you run up on stage and you start peeing your pants just so it doesn't feel bad.
It's okay, son.
Ah!
We're both a laughing stock.
with
Of course, you have to do the pose.
Fists on your
Yeah, you got to do like the noble, heroic
Yeah.
sort of pose as you're doing it. So
just
that
peeing
was
yourself in front of people like that.
Yeah, he was bummed out pretty much the rest of the night until we kind of got home. We went and got a treat and brought home to eat it, and he felt better about it later on, and then he was fine the next day. But
Yeah, treats fix everything.
yeah,
That's what I say.
toward Q. I did the ant little gesture to let him know I'm a Tell Him Steve Day fan, and so he saw me and like gave me a little wink and a nod and a point, and that was that. And so that was it. Good show though.
Cool.
Yeah.
All that for a semen story.
Yeah. Well, it got us this far.
Semen?
Hey, yeah. You can travel far sometimes with it. Sometimes it travels far, just far enough.
I mean, we are all the fastest sperm
As snooze and I
our
know
dad's
sometimes,
shot.
presumably. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they tell us.
I was the fastest sperm out of my dad's penis that day, so that's how I like to describe myself.
That's
I like to think all my
Shut
other
up.
ones were
Dude,
just
shut up. We're not-
slow.
What we
What'd you
still
say?
haven't introduced. We still haven't introduced to me.
We did.
No, yeah,
okay,
I'm
okay.
introduced. I can talk now.
You keep telling him to
talking
shut up,
privileges.
but
No, I realized I went through this whole long story, and then I didn't. I'm like, we should let Mike or Snooze talk.
No.
so
no
you're
talking.
as he starts to talk, you tell him to shut up.
That was a joke, a
It's
callback joke.
instinctual.
Matt, do you know about callbacks? It's a comedic tool to get laughs that the audience will recognize, and blah blah blah. So take it away, someone.
Anyways.
Do you guys follow the news at all? Did you hear the oh man, that celebrity, she stabbed her partner with a fork?
Reese Witherspoon?
No, with her fork.
Who is this? I'm not following this.
It's a joke that was kind
yeah,
of.
Hold on, Mike. I don't know how you want me to call you, Snooze, Mike, whatever.
Hey, Mike, he's fine. Whatever.
Before-
Whatever you normally call me is good.
Before we continue, why are you acting like Grandpa that doesn't know how to use Zoom? Like your face is in the corner of the screen.
It's because
Do you know how to frame yourself, you idiot?
I do know how to frame myself, but I'm using the microphone on my phone, so it
it's
sounds
one of
better
those.
the closer I get.
Right.
It just doesn't look better. It sounds better. It just does
No,
not
but
So-
look
Matt
better.
said he wasn't recording the video
That-
to this, so
He's
Yeah,
not.
otherwise,
There you go.
That looks. I mean, go close again. I don't know if I like the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, I'm real close. I'm so close, guys.
So yeah, Mikey was telling a joke.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
please
I
do.
did. called it,
No,
though.
he did it already, and
whoops.
yeah, it didn't
No,
go
see,
over well.
Wait.
Well, it was funny because I was like, I could tell when Sean was talking about Reese Witherspoon. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I could do a callback as you just were talking about, Sean, with that dad joke of my own. Only you just in jest said, "You mean Reese Witherspoon?" And I'm like, oh god, oh man.
I know I screwed it
Because I was
up.
supposed to be, what was her name? You were just talking about it. Reese, and then you were going to say Witherspoon, and I was going to say Witherfork. But you already got me, Sean. You got me there. You outdated my dadness.
Well, there was no ill intent. I was just.
No,
I did not
he
know where
didn't-
you were going with that. I
The
did not
problem
know where you were
was
going.
Sean didn't know you were trying to tell a joke. He thought you just had no idea what you were doing. And
No,
thought you
I
couldn't
thought-
speak.
No, I thought he was presenting some actual
actually
celebrity news.
Well, it
I'm
makes
like-
it funnier that way. But again, you just had to guess correctly, Sean.
I blame you for basically piggybacking off of what I came up with earlier.
He wasn't piggybacking. That's an actual joke that's existed for a long time because I actually have that in my joke book.
Yeah, it's an
Oh,
actual
so-
real joke that exists, Sean.
Yeah.
Any joke that someone comes up with is a real joke.
Are you sure about that?
If it's not funny, it's not necessarily a joke.
Have you Googled that?
Have you seen this calendar?
True. I have. That's actually the first time I've seen the calendar, to be honest.
Oh, it looks like this.
I've heard much of it. Yeah.
Oh, don't look ahead. This is Monday of next week's. Yeah, I had to look into the. Hey, we're recording this.
I hope it's Juneteenth related.
We're recording this on a Friday, which is unusual for us. So I had to look ahead into the future for the rest of the week to see what was the best dad
That's
joke.
So Raven of you.
Luckily, the best joke was on Monday.
Of the previous Monday?
Yeah, last Monday. What do you mean? What is so Raven about me?
You see into the future. That's so Raven, dude.
Is that what a Raven does?
No, That's So Raven was a Disney show starring.
And you watched it,
Simone. Not necessarily, but I've probably seen.
Watched it.
I've probably seen episodes of it.
I've never seen it.
I wasn't going to say everybody's watched it, but I just say everybody at least knows what it fucking is.
I've heard of the show
Apparently
That's
not.
So Raven, but I don't know enough about it to know that there's more to it than the title That's So Raven.
So
you do now.
Yeah, basically she's a high school kid, and occasionally she gets visions of future things that are like catastrophic high school events that she can then try to fix. So it's like dumb shit. Like,
so she
that
needs
person's
medication.
going to spill something on their clothes, and I can stop it. I don't know.
Real high stakes. They don't.
Yeah,
have
I don't think it's
Stanlifter.
anything. I don't think it's anything like crazy. It was a Disney show, so
they don't have a detergent with Arm & Hammer or OxyClean infused with it.
Like, see, if Raven would have been at that show with you, she could have seen into the future to know what was going to happen on stage, and then she would have let your son know, and he could have peed his pants.
If she was at the show with me, I would have said, "Excuse me, stranger, you're in my seat."
She wouldn't be a stranger.
I don't know who she is.
Raven Simone? You would know her if you saw her.
Let me put it this way:
She was
if she actually had those
she was
powers,
a little kid on fucking
That's So Raven
Cosby show. On the Cosby show, she was the little kid on the Cosby show.
If she actually had those powers, she could have saved us all from Cosby.
Well, she probably would have. She probably would have kept quiet like everyone else to save her career.
I mean, she wouldn't have saved us all because nothing happened to us.
Yeah,
and also she wouldn't have been able to stop anything that happened prior to her birth, which was quite a few of them, I think. She could have prevented future crimes.
All right, Matt. Way to bring
a precog from Minority Report.
You just love referencing. Wow, referencing movies that nobody has seen.
That nobody ever seen.
And it's funny because I know all the references, but I also know that nobody else knows them.
No, I honestly couldn't tell you if I've actually sat through Minority Report from beginning to end before, but I think I've seen the entire movie in pieces.
Look, all I can say is everyone knows who Reese Witherspoon is.
Is that true?
Yeah. Even people that aren't even born yet.
Apparently, she is not a very delightful person.
I think is she going through a divorce?
Well, I've read stories about how she's kind of unpleasant to be around, or she's kind of a demanding person, or also like it's one of those people that's like if she goes like if she's on like a set somewhere or whatever, certain people aren't allowed to talk to her, kind of thing. Yeah.
Do you think
she's America's sweetheart? Huh? That's not part of the joke.
What's that, Snoozy?
I said, do you think it's because of that joke about her? She's just so mad about it.
It's gotten to her already.
She's afraid people are going to stab her with forks, so she just keeps everybody at bay.
Yeah, she keeps everybody at arm's length, arm and utensil length. No, I was trying to find an actual quote of hers for this intro, and so just by Googling her, I did find out that because she was focusing more on work than her marriage, it is ending. It is ending.
Hey, I mean, that lines up with Joe from Impractical Jokers.
Sure does.
I didn't even know about Joe. I didn't hear about it until just now. Joe's gone, huh?
Yeah, he left the show to focus on his family because his marriage had already fallen apart at that point. But
right, I don't. The thing that doesn't make sense is I could see it where he would leave the show in an attempt to save the marriage. Like maybe it's like, oh, the show's taking up too much of your life, and so we don't get to be a family with you. All right, I will quit the show so we can be together as a family. But it seems like, hey, we're done, and so I'm going to focus on being a co-parent. So I'm leaving the show, and by leaving the show, I mean just not being on that show and doing a bunch of podcasts and touring as a solo act.
Yeah, I kind of saw that too. I'm just like, so it's not like he slowed down at all. He's just kind of changed his career path a little bit. But I don't know, maybe it sounded like he was actually wearing a lot of hats when it came to the show too, though.
He was involved with, I know he was
very much on it.
I know he was heavily involved in like the editing of all the episodes and everything like that. So
it's like they have people.
And wasn't he doing all the podcasting and touring on top of that anyway? Or no?
Well, they would all tour together. I don't think he was doing any podcasts before that. But now, since then, I think he's on at least. I know he's on at least one. But
him and Murr had one for a very short period of time.
Oh, did
long time ago. Yeah, they had I think they were doing the Impractical Jokers podcast with them two, but they only did like maybe a dozen or so episodes of that, and that was years and years ago.
Yeah. Now it's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, the show is carrying on with just the 3 remaining, and they have like a rotating. They have like a new guest person every episode.
It's got to be getting harder and harder to do that show. The more they're recognized,
it has to be. There's no way it's not. But their stuff's getting weirder.
Well,
that's another thing
doesn't it?
Well, I think that's another thing that's also happened because Joe left. It's like I think some of the really strange ideas that they were maybe shut down are like, yeah, try them out. This is weird enough. Like they did one where they had to try to somebody was waiting in a room to maybe be part of a focus group or something. They were just waiting to be called back for something. And they're facing some giant windows. And what the Jokers had to do one at a time was walk up with some sort of mystery product, climb in through the window, sit down next to them, and try to sell them whatever product they had brought in. It's just getting weird, you know.
And I don't know. I haven't watched it in a long time. I think there's probably like 1 or 2 seasons with Joe still in it that I haven't seen. But I kind of felt like maybe they should just end it because Joe can't do it anymore. Like to me, it was like that was the show, was those 4.
Well,
and to be honest, Joe was always my favorite anyways, so it was kind of like,
Yeah, but they had said that when Joe left and they were starting to talk about, well, how will we carry on with the show without him? What will the show be like? And they were sort of coming up with other ideas, sort of retooling it, that they all got really excited. They're like, hey, this could be really fresh and fun and new, and we're changing things up. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the show with the 4 of them. Huh?
It's still called Impractical Jokers.
Yeah. It's all the same, except there's just Joe's not there.
They should have came up with a new concept, done something else.
Well, I mean, it's no different than a band replacing a band member.
Well, I think that also you have to remember, like, as far as True TV goes, that's their one show, is Impractical Jokers. So I don't think True TV was probably ready to just let that die.
Yeah.
Just because one member
the
left.
Ratings are still there.
I mean, they finished out season 9 without Joe, and they've already had a bunch of episodes of season 10 going without Joe. So, I mean, people are still going to watch and learn.
Until eventually maybe it will just get awful and the ratings will die and they'll just cancel it.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing another cruise this early at the beginning of next year. So that's back on. The cruises are back. So yeah, I mean, they're still liked enough that the show's going to go on, I'm sure. I just hope it doesn't get to Simpsons level where, you get people that are fans of the show that were born years after the show first started,
Yeah, I just can't imagine anybody who's actually like around our age having kept up with the whole thing up till now. Like, I know I haven't. I haven't
Simpsons?
seen an episode in years.
Yeah, Simpsons. Yeah,
I've probably only ever seen like a handful of Simpsons episodes in my life.
Yeah,
it was not a show I ever watched.
I really liked it when I was a kid.
Matt hates yellow people.
My mom thought that Bart Simpson was a bad influence. So therefore, as stupid as that sounds, it's why it was not watched in my house.
Yet she let you watch the Cosby Show.
Well,
And look
honest.
how he turned out.
Well, yeah, that's, you can't fix that. That shit didn't come out till years later. You can say that about a lot of stuff.
She let you watch Harvey Weinstein.
Hey, guess what else? We used to go to Subway all the fucking time when Jared was still the spokesman. And look how that turned out. I
thought you were going to say when Jared was working there.
No, he never really worked there.
Kids, go in the back and have Jared help make your sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
He gives you one look and he says, 4-inch.
We don't even sell that,
I don't think he was
sir.
looking for anything longer than that.
Right.
You.
Gross. So, Snoozy,
what else?
What's new there, fella? You got yourself a little backdrop of sorts?
No, it's actually a backdrop for the garage sale behind me. Because I'm in my garage.
Good.
It is to show people that what's behind that curtain on Mikey's side is not what's for sale.
Yes.
Yeah,
and also it's kind of messy here.
You are not for sale, is what you're saying by that.
Not currently.
Well, I mean,
right.
I mean,
once he steps,
he's got his price.
Yeah.
I sit out there. I just sit right in the middle of the showroom floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people just keep bringing him money.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to do anything.
It's not what he's used to.
No.
I mean, Mikey's an artist. He's for sale.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is him like getting money is not what he's used to.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely not.
Ouch.
Yeah,
it's valid.
I know it's true. So
you don't point it out.
He points it out.
Yeah, but you don't have to rub the fucking salt in the wounds. Let him self-inflict, Sean. Let him self-inflict.
I rubbed it on his 4-inch wound.
Oh.
Be a good friend. Let your other friend self-inflict and don't do anything about it.
Yeah. Usually it is me who brings it up, to be fair.
You do it to be fair?
It takes the edge off.
That being said, if one of your many listeners are wealthy art collectors, I do have art for fabulous amounts of money for sale.
I'm sorry. I only collect wealthy art.
Oh, it is wealthy. The art itself is worth thousands of dollars.
By the way, Matt, I would argue that you can't remove the edge or take the edge off because that just creates a new edge. So at best, you can relocate the edge.
Well, it's a different edge. You can't it's not the same edge, so you can still take the edge off because you're taking one edge off. You're creating a different edge altogether.
Sure.
That first edge is off.
What do you do with the discarded edge?
It's gone. You dispose of it.
Oh,
yeah.
I was hoping you would shove it up your butt.
In like a sharps container?
Sure. Depending on
depends on what the edge is. So you're taking the edge off.
Depending on what it is, what it was the edge of. My seat? No. You put that right in the bank. It's a high yield savings account.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
We're talking about wealthy art collectors.
Yes, get yours now.
And their sassy ways. Get your wealthy art collector now at a low, low price of one art.
Are you selling a wealthy art collector?
Yeah. It only cost me one art. This collector only cost me one art, and I got all his collection came with it.
I am not understanding how this transaction is working, but
I don't either.
I'm okay.
But you're gonna make a killing. You're gonna make out like a bandit.
I have a feeling Sean dove into some fucking portal, and he's seeing the world very differently than we are right now.
And now I'm just in a pool of very fast semen.
See, Sean, I know what a callback is.
Then how come you have 8 unlistened to voicemails from me?
I don't have any unlistened to voicemails.
You just delete them?
Yeah.
They're still unlistened to if you delete them.
Well, I know. I don't. I listen to them and then delete them. I don't. So I have no unlistened to emails.
Do you ever feel a
listen
bit
to
of
them, or do you just like fast forward them so you don't have to listen to them and they don't give you the notification?
I usually at least listen to the beginning of it,
hey Matt,
see who it was,
delete?
and yeah, I mean, if it sounds like it's important, I'll keep it, or I'll listen to it all the way through. I don't keep it. I delete them immediately.
Doesn't it have, like, if it's me, for example, doesn't it have just my name next to it, or at least my phone number to let you know that it's from me?
Well, I'll see that I have a missed call from you.
But if I leave you a voicemail,
how often do you don't leave me voicemails very often?
No,
you usually call. If I don't answer, you just wait until I call you back, or I'll text you and say, "What's up?"
Pretending to be busy.
Because 9 times out of 10, when you call me, it could have been a text message.
Well, sometimes it's just better to get on the horn and
yeah. But I think we've also had this conversation.
Talk mouth to mouth.
See, what I think I'm hearing is that Matt wants daily voicemails from Sean.
No,
that's what I'm hearing. Daily voicemails from Sean.
What the actual problem is that
can happen.
A lot of times. So if Sean and I get on the phone with each other, what happens a lot of times is we'll go over whatever the phone call was originally about, which usually takes 30 to 45 seconds. But then we will stay on the phone for like another 30 to 40 minutes and then realize, and we'll start joking and laughing about shit and then realize like this would have been great as a record. Like we waste all this energy on phone calls that we could have put into an episode that it's just like,
And the whole time I'm playfully twirling my finger in the phone cord.
In the butthole.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other finger.
What phone cord? What kind of phone do you have that still has a cord?
I got one of those. Remember a long time ago?
Do they even sell landlines with cords anymore?
Well, every landline is hooked up with a cord.
Well, I mean, the receiver. So you're twirling the cord that's hooked to the receiving end of the phone and then hooked into the wall. That's the cord you're twirling. You have a cord long enough on that device. You don't even have a home phone.
I don't do anything if it's not long enough, Matt. Weird thing. I don't know. So anyway,
I don't agree.
So if you remember, well over a decade ago,
because you've had sex,
they were trying to sell a old handset, like old phone receiver with a curly cord that you just plug into your cell phone.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
You could actually talk through it as a little accessory.
I bet you can still get it.
Fucking
you
stupid.
Can still get it?
Oh, I'm sure you can. Go on Amazon.
But I don't think what would have been cool is if it was some sort of like gyroscope or something built into it, or motion sensing built into it, where if you slam it down really hard, it'll hang up the call. But I don't think it did that.
Or if you have it hooked up and your phone's just sitting there, if you pick it up, it'll answer for you.
That would also be cool.
Yeah. It would still be the dumbest fucking thing, because it's easier just to hit like answer call and on your phone. You don't even have to pick up your damn phone to talk. So speakerphone, baby.
I mean, you've never had to do that in the history of the humankind. You could
talk on the phone.
You could talk before phones were invented.
Right. But you know what I meant, and you're being a piece of shit, like normal.
Look.
I was confused for a sec. I'm not going to lie.
I know what I meant.
Saying that you can talk without having to pick up a phone. Yeah. Because you don't have to answer the phone to talk.
Like, the punchline is Witherfork, because it's a modification of her real name, which is Witherspoon. Do you get it now?
I hate you, Sean.
I meant what I said. I meant what I know what I meant, and I meant what I know. Is what I meant to say.
You're the best. You're the best, and nobody can beat you.
Contractually. So, Matt, I hear you brought a fancy game for us today.
No.
Oh.
Trying to put me on the spot.
I thought this was my day of lucky guesses.
That would have been
that day will never come.
That would have been awesome.
But guess who did bring a fancy game for you guys to play?
Who's that?
Me?
Sean.
All right, we're going to play Scorch My Toes.
Yes.
Round 1. Matt.
Sean's going to win because he's the only one who has access to his toes right now.
Matt, what object would be best to use to scorch my toes? A match, a blowtorch, or an ice sculpture of Ulysses S. Grant?
Before you even gave me options, I was going to say blowtorch.
Really?
Would it scorch your toes or just burn the fuck out of them?
And
Well, is that
survey
the
says,
same?
Are we looking
Is that
for
the
a
same thing?
specific degree of scorching?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the degrees of scorching are, to be honest.
Well, I would
I
say
thought scorched just meant
I would,
burnt to a crisp, kind of like blackened. Like
but there's degrees of burn.
it's one step away from like crumbling away into ash.
Okay, so we're talking past 4th degree burns.
Sure.
We're talking just fully incinerated.
Yeah. Why not?
Then a blowtorch.
Okay.
Because an ice sculpture is not gonna. You're gonna get frostbite eventually, but it's not gonna.
your toes can turn black and fall off.
Eventually, that would be. I mean, that's the long game.
But is that the best way? Probably not.
I'd say no. And the
I always
match
say
is
the long game.
match is gonna go out before it gets to that point. So blowtorch is the only option.
See, I was going to say
What do I win?
D.
Well,
both A
Mike
and
has to go
B.
next.
Oh, yes. Do I get a new question?
You do. After Matt scorches my toes, what is the best object to use to scorch my toes? Flint and steel.
Struggled for that one a little bit.
The Hindenburg pre-explosion, or a nose ring.
I'm going to go with the Hindenburg pre-explosion.
Yeah,
and here's
That's
why.
a good answer.
Because if you're in the right spot, and I'm going to make sure you are, there will be nothing left, including your toes, after the explosion.
Now, the tough part is, will they be able to ID my toes and prove that they're mine? There were a lot of victims of that horrific crash.
The answer is maybe.
Yeah, I like maybe. I like those odds.
There might still be
Maybe.
some DNA present.
Yeah. They might
I will
find a
make sure
tooth.
of that.
They might find a tooth.
Unless so are we talking that you and Sean have to now travel back in time to when the Hindenburg explosion happened, or are we bringing the Hindenburg forward in time?
The risk I see in trying to bring the Hindenburg forward in time is that could cause an explosion as it's traveling through time.
Yeah, you might have
I was going to say the same thing.
a premature explosion. Nobody
Right.
wants a premature explosion.
No, we want the explosion to happen exactly when it happened. We want the same people to die that died in the original event.
Of course we do.
We don't want to spare any
They
lives.
deserved it. So then my DNA thing kind of falls out the window because they're not going to be collecting DNA back then.
That was my whole argument. So to tally up the scores,
That was not your what? How was that your argument?
Matt has 1 point and Mike has 1 point.
Yes.
And let's go to the tiebreaker round. All right. Now
It's
this
the
is
best impromptu game ever.
This is a rapid fire, so the first person to answer correctly just gets the point. There's no
Mongoose. No.
You cannot answer until I complete the question.
Okay.
All right. Once my toes are scorched, what is the best wine pairing you would serve with them on a plate?
Cabaret.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Mike, what did you say? You spoke first.
Cabaret.
That's not what you said, though. So
That's
I'm going to
absolutely
strike
what I
your
said.
answer.
That is what he said, actually. And I think it's kind of funny because when I think of cabaret, I think of dancing, which you need your toes for.
Exactly.
No,
I may have just helped Mikey win.
That's exactly what I was thinking too, Matt. Thank you.
Nice.
I think that Matt, you're disqualified for discriminating against those without toes who are in the dance community.
It was kind of cold.
And Mike, you are disqualified because
Do I have to do an apology video?
Mike, it depends on if you want your career to go anywhere. But Mike, you are disqualified because I was exclusively reading lips during this game, and yours are nowhere to be found.
Sorry, Sean. Is this better?
Look at that luscious lips.
It's different.
It's different, not necessarily better.
All right, so all right. Tune in next time for another episode of
So nobody won.
Toes.
All
Correct.
of that. Nobody
you don't
won.
always-
We're both disqualified.
I
You
think we
don't-
all won
there's-
that. We all
There's
won.
not always a winner. Sometimes there are ties, just like in hockey.
Yeah.
I think we both won. That's the thing. Didn't
We
say
both
that
won
this
and
isn't
we both lost.
All that matters to you is what you think.
this is getting dark. I want to leave this
Oh.
place.
Well, it is 8:50.
Dark as in tone, Sean, not as in actual darkness.
Dark as in audio tone? Because I don't know. I don't. In that space, I don't see color.
Oh.
I mean, we were riding a high there for a minute, and Sean just killed it.
We were talking
Wow,
about
Sean, cross
recreating-
the line.
We were
Every
talking about
time.
recreating the
Crossing
Hindenburg
it.
explosion, and that was riding a high.
That's fine. You
For the
have
record,
to. You
I
have
was-
to do that because otherwise you're doomed to repeat it. You don't want to. You don't want to. I mean, we're attempting to repeat it.
Yeah, we're trying to repeat it.
So are you saying it's a good thing I didn't bring up Audio Slave?
The band or the act of audio slavery?
He's slowly backing away. So, okay, Matt, why aren't you jumping on him for what he said just now?
It was a pretty terrible thing
It
to
was
say.
fine. I back Mikey 100%. Sean, you crossed the line earlier with whatever it was that happened because I already don't remember.
I was going to say, he just forgot what the whole premise
Oh,
of
God,
the
yeah.
conversation
I
was.
mentioned Reese Witherspoon favorably.
I
How dare I?
yeah.
We were talking
I have
about
the
Reese
memory of a goldfish, which isn't an accurate thing to say anymore. It's because goldfish have decent memories. So, anyway,
I really have nothing. That's not true. I don't have nothing going on. A week from tomorrow, I will be at the Elm Crest Art Fair, which I believe is my only art show this year. So
a week from so by the time people listening to this, it'll be.
Why don't you give a date?
This
Let's
next
just give a
Saturday
date.
coming up.
Give a date.
all right,
Give a
that's
date.
the date today.
20. So on the
I don't-
24th. So June 24th, Mikey will be at, where was it?
Elm Crest Park.
Elm Crest Park, doing a show there, or
He's selling wares.
or
His art.
selling?
It's an
Okay,
art
they're
fair.
having. Okay, so those of you in the Minnesota area, go check out Snooze Magoo's booth on Saturday the 24th at Elm, whatever you said, Park.
Elm Crest Park.
Elm
Crest.
Crest Park.
I think technically it's in Ramsey, I want to say. Ramsey, Nowlin area, but yes.
Okay, so art lovers, get out there.
Snooze lovers, get out there.
Yeah, outdoorsy people.
Elm Crest
Speaking
Park
of
lovers.
snooze lovers, I just broke 500
tired.
on YouTube. The 500
There you
mark
go.
broken. 504.
There
You
you
need to
go.
get your TikTokers to go over there and subscribe as well.
That would be nice. I try, but it rarely results in anything. So.
Yeah, getting crossover like that is always difficult to get people
But I
to
have
go
more on YouTube than
on
Instagram.
everywhere. There you go. Instagram's dying. It's a dying platform.
Yeah, I'm not
I think
a big fan.
I think you've said it before. If you're not already established on Instagram like years ago, you're not going to get anywhere on it now.
Well, they've
Unless
kind of
you're like a
leaned into
dog.
pay. Like you can pay to have your posts pushed, and that's pretty much the best way to do it these days, from what I hear. And I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that. So
No, it's no. If I can't have organic, non-funded
GMO.
growth, yeah, then fuck it. If I can't get people to follow me just because of my winning fucking personality and
Yeah.
and the good content that I'm putting out there with Sean's help,
Hello.
and sometimes Sean's hindrance,
Hello.
then
it is
fuck
all
it.
about the content, though.
It is
Now-
about the content. It's really a flash in the pan kind of thing sometimes, of just like right place, right time. If you can put out like the best little short or something that just for whatever fucking reason goes viral, it's such a shot in the dark with stuff like this.
Now, I want just to clarify, when you said non-funded growth, you were talking about your penis, yes?
It is not currently funded.
It is
But
not
it is
currently growing.
It is currently growing.
Oh.
Well, like right now.
Yeah, because I can see your lips again.
hey, that was over the line. We were doing so well. And then you brought it down to this level. Oh my God.
How was that?
I think, yeah, that wasn't, God, Sean. Sean, you've out of these, we've known each other for how many years? You've never quite figured out where the line is, but you've always figured out how to cross it.
He's always been best to cross the line.
Yeah.
We played it all the time as kids.
If we would have played a rousing game just now of cross the line, you would have won.
Well, I didn't bring that today. I brought
because you can't bring it because you don't know where the line is. That's the problem.
He was always first picked.
You've never seen the line, but you have always won the game of cross the line.
Yeah, always first picked at Red Rover.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played Red Rover.
Really, it's super fun.
What? Not even in grade school?
I don't.
Not even just
remember.
once.
I don't remember.
It's my favorite response to anybody ever being like, "I've never ever done that." Not even just once.
Not even once. Not even the one thing that would disqualify the statement of never.
What else have you never just once done?
Never just once. Nothing. I've not never. Well, yeah, nothing. All right. I have nothing to plug.
Because you've either because how does that work? There's nothing else you've never done just once.
There's
probably a million things you've done just once.
But you're saying I've never done just once.
Yeah, there's probably a billion things you've never done even just once.
So never done just once just means I've never done it, right?
Yeah.
Because even if you have done something twice, you've done it once, before that. So that disqualifies.
Well, except for the you've never done just once, then it does make the statement.
Oh, sure. If you do it a second time, you're right.
Yeah.
Then you are. Yeah. Okay. So anything I've done.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like
anything
you've done it just once because you have a kid.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's for sure thing you've done just once.
Yeah.
That was the joke I always make with my parents. I'm like, I know my parents. I told my mom once or something. I'm like, well, I know you and Dad have had sex just 3 times, which isn't true because my sister walked in on him twice.
No, she was invited in.
No, both times she was in her 20s. That's what makes it funnier.
Huh?
It's okay. She doesn't listen to this.
I'm not going to make a joke about this.
But she listened to them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she actively listened, but I mean, she heard.
Now, Matt never walked in on them because he preferred to just listen.
Oh, I never walked in because I was always already there.
All right, there it is.
That's the only funny thing you've said all day.
I don't think so.
Mike, weigh in on this.
Well, I've only seen him for like the last hour or so I can't speak to what he said earlier. He might have been really funnier.
Not even just once?
We'll find out.
Not.
Now, that's a callback. Sort of.
That's a callback from like 4 minutes ago. Probably not even.
No, not even
that
close.
Still constitute as a callback? Like we haven't even left.
No, we're still in the same conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's
notoriously bad at calling back.
Yeah. Why do you have him on?
Thanks for the groan.
It's funny. Yeah. Like, when I didn't say it, but when our other friends said they were busy, I'm like, oh, so it's just Mike. But I refrained. To spare your feelings.
Spielings fared. Wow. Yeah, good.
Are you spieling this right now? I spiel it right now. I'm spieling this.
I'm not spieling very good, that's for sure.
Oh.
I spieling, whatever. I don't speak German.
Why did the banana not go to the dance ball?
Because it didn't peel.
He wasn't peeling well.
It wasn't peeling it. Mine's the best one.
We did give 3 different answers.
Yep.
It's like, why did the cookie go to the doctor? He was
feeling well.
He was feeling crummy.
Oh, because they tend to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
My variation on the banana joke is, why was the banana so green? Because he didn't peel. Because he didn't peel good. Yeah.
Okay.
And it makes sense because green bananas don't peel good, and also
true.
When you're sick, you're described as being or looking green. So it works on a couple of different levels. It's really, when you got to explain jokes, it's really what makes them the best.
Well, the problem is the reverse is what the actual reality is. Because the banana is green, it doesn't peel well, not the other way around. You're claiming that the greenness is a result of it not peeling well.
Damn it.
Oh,
I'm going to have to rewrite this whole thing.
I know why the banana was green.
Why?
Because it didn't have a lot of sexual experience.
See, you don't know that either, because the green bananas would really make for the best sexual experiences. They're stiffer.
They would make for it, but it doesn't mean that they have it.
They produce clean energy.
There you go.
They care for the environment.
They're
ribbed for my pleasure.
Oh, that's something that you just said.
Once again,
that's
Sean
a callback.
Crossing that line again, Sean. Ugh, awful.
I like to call it a border.
Crossing that border?
I don't know. I was trying to make like a.
Let's put up a wall around Sean.
I call it the event horizon.
See? Now Sean's referencing movies nobody's seen.
I haven't seen that movie. Wait a minute. Event Horizon? I have seen that.
I've also seen it.
Actually a decent movie.
There we go. Look at consensus.
Look at us.
Everybody's seen it.
We sort of like
we
Event
are
Horizon.
Everyone.
We all sort of liked it.
It was all right. I remember it vaguely.
The funny thing is, when you first mentioned like Event Horizon and movie, I thought of Interstellar, which
a
is
movie
why
with a
I
completely different title.
Right, but which is why I said I hadn't seen it, because I have not seen Interstellar. But I know somewhere an Event Horizon is involved.
Well, yeah, because it's got your favorite actor in the world in it, Sam Neill.
He is in that. Oh wait, which movie are we talking about? Interstellar or Event Horizon? Okay, yes,
that's
I
why
know
you've
he's
seen
in Event
it.
Horizon. Got it. So I've seen every movie he's been in, is what you're saying.
I don't know. I just remember years ago you had like a Sam Neill thing.
I liked the Jurassic Park movie. Is that what it was?
Alan.
And he's the star. Okay. Don't
specifically don't. I reference the one part of any Jurassic Park movie you hated.
I think everybody hated that part.
Oh, that's what killed the original Jurassic Park trilogy. It's just that scene and the fact that the two movies after the first one were not good.
You know,
for me, it was when that little girl did a bunch of like gymnastics and kicked a raptor out of a building. That's when my brain just checked out and said, I don't think I like this.
I just love when they establish something about a character early in the movie so you know that it's going to play a part later. It's going to come back
later. Right. No, so yes, that was laughable, that moment. That was in the second one. But I was thinking, hey, Sam Neill came back for the third one. We're back, baby. Jurassic Park is back. And it's not like they waited till like the second act or something to throw in that talking dinosaur nonsense. They did it right away at the very beginning. I was furious the whole time in the theater after that. I could not enjoy the movie at all because that happened. They just dropped from the jump.
I brought this up.
Right from the jump, this stupid talking dinosaur shows up in an airplane. First of all,
having a Sean rant.
So also in this dream, a dinosaur is allowed to board an airplane, presuming that the dinosaur is either an emotionally support animal or it purchased a ticket to the plane.
It's pre 9/11. It's fine.
Showed an ID and was able to board the plane. Probably had a carry-on.
I think that was I think they were on like a personal private jet. So there's far less security in that situation. A lot of times, no security at all.
Well, Alan Grant,
pilot didn't mind a dinosaur on the back of the plane.
But you have to remember, Matt, Alan Grant had paleontologist money. He didn't have Sam Neill money. He's not flying around on private jets.
Well, he wasn't. I don't believe he chartered the jet. I don't think I've ever seen the third movie, but I'm pretty sure that he was being brought along as like somebody was bringing him along for something.
So he was dreaming.
Like, why would he go back? He has no want to go back there.
So he was dreaming that he was on a private jet.
No, he was on the jet. He was dreaming that there was a dinosaur talking to him on the jet.
I believe that's true.
I think
You've
in a
seen
deleted-
it. I haven't.
I think in a deleted scene, the dinosaur asked if he could switch seats. The dinosaur wanted the window seat.
It's like, pardon me, sir.
Yeah.
Alan.
So yes, that destroyed. And then the new ones are garbage. I've only seen the. I guess I can't talk. I've only seen the first one with Chris Pratt.
I thought it was all right. It was fine. I wasn't impressed by it, but I wasn't like bothered by it.
Well, the fact that Chris
it was
Pratt
fine. They were fine doing it.
It's just he's just harnessed the power of basically doing the halt symbol and like dinosaurs listen.
He trained those dinosaurs.
Yeah, they let him train them. They didn't just eat him. They're like, yeah, we'll listen to this guy. We will learn.
Dude, people
will learn the language, and we will be able to take commands from this person.
It's not extremely far-fetched if you think about the fact that people have wild animals as basically pets all over the world. People have like tigers and lions and all that kind of shit all the time. And only rarely do you have like a Siegfried and Roy situation.
Tiger King only got mauled a handful of times.
Right.
Don't spoil it. I never watched it.
Well, you're never going to.
Spoiler, it sucks. Don't.
There's a statute of limitations on spoilers for things that have been out for years and years and years.
Well, I could understand.
We didn't put a spoiler warning at the beginning of this. We started talking about Jurassic Park 3.
That's true, but that's like well beyond the statute of limitations.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Tiger King, it's still up on Netflix. So
that doesn't mean shit. Friends was on Netflix for a number of years,
but it's not anymore. So spoiler ban is lifted on Friends.
Okay, so if it's on Netflix,
guess
you can't.
What?
Okay,
but Ross and Rachel end up together.
Dude,
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Spoiler alert: nobody has sex with Phoebe.
Oh, she
That's
was the
not true.
quirky one.
It's not.
That's not true. She gets hers occasionally throughout the show.
Paul Rudd was her
she ends up
boyfriend
with Paul Rudd at the end.
Yeah,
but
which
from
who wouldn't want to
one
end
of
up with
the
that
friends,
guy?
though.
He became Ant-Man.
Oh, I don't think her and one of the other friends ever did it, as far as I recall.
I always thought her and Joey might as well have just hooked up because it's like, you got Ross and Rachel and then you got Monica and Chandler. Like, why not just Joey and Phoebe go like, all right, let's just the two of us go ahead.
Pretty sure Joey and Rachel also got together at one point.
Yeah, that was a weird choice.
All I'm saying
on whose
is all
part,
the friends
Rachel's
got
or Joey's?
On the writers.
Phoebe.
Ah, are you saying you could do better?
No, I'm not saying that. It was just a weird point in the show of like, why them? It didn't make sense.
Well, dude, you try to keep writing for a show after like 7 seasons. I'm sure this happened somewhere in that season era time.
I don't know if it might have been season 9 or 10 when that happened.
Oh, so geez, go easy on them even more. They had to keep coming up with more ways for these people to bicker at each other when they have very menial jobs and they have a giant apartment in New York.
But
they explain why. Rent control, dude. Yeah, rent control.
Oh, rent control.
They say it in like the very first episode. Monica makes some sort of comment of, if anybody asks, I'm a 70-year-old woman or some shit, because it was like her grandmother's apartment that was rent controlled.
How could I forget?
That's why you suck.
I think it's the universe is off balance. The fact that you just, in the same episode here, you've said that you've seen maybe a handful of episodes of The Simpsons, and you know so much about Friends.
Yeah, that is really sad.
I'm not going to say that you're not right. I do know a lot about the show Friends.
Something
I don't know. Here. Friends was a very popular show.
I will admit, when Friends first started, I watched it. I don't remember when I stopped, but I watched it. I also watched Big Bang Theory when it first started. Yep. But I also quickly stopped watching that show. What can I say?
Sorry. You can say sorry.
I am Sean, and I start watching shows.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing.
Typical Sean, always starting, never finishing.
That's true. That's just what they ask for.
That's why he only has the one kid. Well,
you can't say then it's a never, right? Not even just once.
You haven't finished him off yet.
Not
like that. I meant he
Wait a
hasn't
minute.
killed his son.
Wait, what?
What way do you mean?
Matt?
He has yet to kill his son. He hasn't finished him.
Oh my God.
See, that's
Sean
what I thought you meant.
Hey, oh my God, what? That's good. That is a good quality Sean has.
I was just trying
He
to
doesn't
reference
kill
pre-count.
kids.
That's all I was doing.
That's worse than those deadbeat dads that are like, I take care of my kids, acting like that's some sort of badge of honor, like they should be rewarded for it.
It's
I'm
like
like,
you're supposed
I haven't killed my kid yet. Cut me some slack. Honor me.
Yet is not a great thing to put at the end of that sentence.
Well,
let's face
the
it.
future's unwritten.
It's true.
Yeah.
I can confidently say
Unless
that I
you're
know
Raven. Call back.
Yes, so.
God damn it.
Okay, you know a lot about Friends, and you know a lot about That's So Raven.
I know.
This
I
is a
know
problem.
the concept of that show.
So what? I call that a lot in regard to That's So Raven. You knowing the concept of the show is a lot.
You were saying?
I don't know.
It's just a tactic to try to get you to... It's a fun tactic if there's like silence happening. Just like, you were saying?
What was that?
So they took my toe.
Mike, how much
What?
do you know? How much do you know about Friends and That's So Raven?
How
No,
much do I
just
know
leave
about-
That So Raven out of it.
Okay,
Why?
so That's So Raven I can sum up like this. Something about she can see into the future or some shit, because that's what Matt said. And it's played
Look at
by
that.
Raven
Now you guys know.
Simone, I think. is
Yeah,
he
which
was
I
in
think
the
her
Cosby.
last name is actually pronounced Simone. But
Great.
that's
That's
Wow.
who she is.
Wow.
because I
I'm
saw
sorry.
a thing where she corrected, where somebody said
Wow.
it, and then where she
Wow.
was very
I'm
surprised
sorry.
at how
I'm
they
sorry,
pronounced
Miss-
it correctly.
I'm sorry, Raven Simone, for
Now
mispronouncing your name.
Matt's going online and watching interviews with Raven
No,
Simone.
it was on a show. It was on.
Was it? Tell me the show.
It was
You're
on.
gonna embarrass yourself even more.
RuPaul's Drag Race. There
Oh
you
my
go.
god! Ah,
How embarrassing!
I would have reacted to anything.
How
that
inclusive
way.
I am.
Sure.
My friend's knowledge now. I knew that there were a bunch of people who never did anything and lived like kings in New York, and I knew that they all got down except for with Phoebe, because Phoebe was weird and probably had some smelly issues.
Well, she didn't like smelly. Well, she liked a smelly cat,
She did like a smelly cat,
which
and
could
she
be a
kept that smelly
euphemism.
cat around.
Could be a euphemism.
Look, there's another thing you already knew about the show.
Me?
So yeah,
Or Mike?
both
No,
of us.
Mikey. Yeah, everybody knew about the smelly cat. Look at that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know they drink coffee.
Hey, wait. Let's
Yeah.
think about
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
Think about if this was like a double entendre. Smelly cat, what are they feeding you?
Oh, that's some
right?
clever writing.
Yeah, I know.
Sean's going between the lines on that one. He figured out something that
Oh, between
I
the
don't think
lines.
the internet's even discussed about yet.
I'm sure they have.
Maybe. And
Oh.
the second line is smelly cat, it's not your fault.
I know. I was just thinking that. Like, what could that mean? Oh no! Oh
Well,
no!
I mean, to be fair,
Cat's got a bad
her vagina
pH balance.
will stay in what she does with it. So
Were you going to say? To be fair, she was asking for it. Is that what you were
No.
going to say?
that
Wow,
would be terrible.
Sean, again.
Look at the way she was dressed. Look
Red
at the way she
Rover,
was
Red
talking to
Rover,
me.
just keep Sean in your line.
Send
Sorry, you've never
anyone
played
else
it, so you don't
over.
understand
Anyone,
that.
please. Yeah, Sean, what do you know about Red Rover? Tell us
Yeah,
what you
do you know about?
know about Red Rover.
How'd you play?
You tell people to come over one by one. I don't know. You tell people to come over one by one. I think that's it.
In a
right?
very orderly fashion.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes
There's
maybe
a lot
it's
of
alphabet.
There's a lot of hand holding involved.
Okay,
Mhm.
so how does one person go over if they're all holding hands?
So you have two parallel lines, both facing each
Mhm.
other, of people
I don't-
holding hands.
I'm sorry, you lost me already. I can't see lines.
Okay, you have two groups of people arranged next to each other, holding hands,
Okay.
facing each other.
Sure,
Right?
hands across America.
Yeah,
This-
kinda.
yeah,
Only
kind of.
whatever.
Only
And
more so
each
across a
team
yard.
Gets a turn to say Red Rover, send anybody but Sean because he doesn't get to play right over,
Mhm.
and that person
Well,
runs
hold
from
on,
their
hold on.
team.
I'm
Hold
stopping
on.
you now. No. why do you have to declare that I shouldn't come over if I'm not allowed to play?
Well,
That's
you just
implied.
haven't played, so they wouldn't have called your name.
Yeah, that's what he's getting at.
So they're not saying Red Rover, let anyone but Sean come over because he can't play.
They're going to say a
No.
specific person.
Like Sean?
Like Matt.
If there's
Matt
a different
played.
Sean playing other than you, yes.
So Red Rover, send Matt right over, and Matt's going to go from his line and try and break somebody who's holding somebody else's hand. He's going to try to break somebody's hand.
You try to break their grip apart.
He's trying to break their bond.
Yes.
Right. And if he's successful, then he gets to choose somebody from
I get to
the
choose,
team.
I think I believe one of those two people.
Yep.
That
to come over to their team. But if he doesn't break the handhold, then he has to stay on that team.
Mm-hmm.
On the team he just ran to?
Yeah.
Right.
So if he breaks the hand holding,
yes.
Does he then return back to the side he just ran from?
Yes.
And he gets to take one of the persons with him.
Gotcha. And I'm guessing the goal is to have everybody end up on your side?
Yes.
Yes. Now, with all that said, Sean,
me,
keep breaking those handholds and crossing that line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been told I'm not allowed to play Red Rover.
You keep bringing everybody back over to you, crossing that line, and bringing us all to your level.
I'm trying to get someone to breach my event horizon.
Yuck.
What part of you is your event horizon? I honestly, as I was asking it, I was regretting asking it.
Think of a black hole, man. A black hole.
It's the only kind I think about. Leave that little bit of silence in.
You heard it here first. Matt doesn't like his holes to be well lit.
No.
That's quite a face.
Hey, I'm back.
It's weird because when you came back, the way you moved, it literally looked like your screen had froze for a while. It was very
completely
well
intentional. Completely intentional.
It's called acting.
Yep.
It's good acting right there.
I should be in a movie called Glitch.
Isn't there already a movie called Glitch?
I don't know, but you probably know a lot about it.
I honestly don't. I'm sure there is, but I have no idea.
It's starring Simone Biles.
You're from the 2004 film Glitch, Sean? That's what I was waiting for Matt to say. Not that I know that there's a 2004 film Glitch, but
if there's a movie called Glitch that came out in 2004,
then I get the win.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. 2015. 2015
oh, boo.
is when the movie Glitch came out. There's also a TV series.
Yeah, because 2004, that was before the Glitch was invented.
And then there's
video games and computers glitched in 2004.
Thank you for factually discrediting my joke and not just laughing at it.
You can Google it and you can ask Jeeves.
Would you say I can't read your lips?
Ask Jeeves.
We fired him. He was stealing silverware.
He's dead. We fired him out of a cannon.
No, I was going to say we fired him because he died.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. We fired him out of a cannon. That'd be a funny thing for a CEO of a company to say.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Jeeves? I haven't seen him around lately. Oh, we fired him. Oh,
for what?
Out of a cannon.
Oh, you didn't let me finish.
Out of a cannon. You know I like to make long pauses in my sentences.
Out of a 15th century cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like the only size cannon to fit?
No, it's just the one they own.
It was the only one invented before the Glitch.
The big glitch of the 16th century.
Yeah. You've read about it. You guys learned about that in history class, remember?
Yeah, it's on Wikipedia.
I mean, it was a part of American history, so I know we learned about it.
Yeah. Because that's the only history we learn about.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And even that isn't, always so factual.
We learn a little bit about England because, we beat those
Brits.
crisp eaters.
Whoa. Calm down, Sean. Jesus.
Hey, that's
getting crossing that line.
It's just
that's the way the crisp crumbles. Call back.
yeah. I don't remember what I was going to say.
But you have
it's
a memory
always,
of you
it's always
saying
funny.
it.
It's always funny to like, we beat the British, and it's like, but the people that beat the British were basically the other British that just came here and established a new country. So it's really
and a very select few are the direct descendants of those British people.
Yeah.
So there's really only a few people probably in the country that can say we beat the British. You know what I mean? Nah, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
my
really
lineage does not go back that far in this country.
Nope. I could be traced back to Ireland. Mike, have you ever done anything like that? Like an Ancestry.com or a 23andMe to learn about your history?
Well, my folks have, so
yeah. At that point,
I know a lot about my lineage.
At that point, it's like, do you even need to? If both of your parents,
no point. Yeah,
I come from 3 different families, all of which were supposedly like original settlers. So
you do go all the way back into the origins of what is now America.
Apparently, yeah. But I mean, I can't say that for certain. Like, I haven't seen the documents for myself. I can only go by what my folks have told me. So
we thank
they
you for
notoriously lie to you.
Well, you know,
you're not even theirs.
Yeah, look at
that. Yeah, no, I am in all the worst ways.
You have all their worst traits.
Yeah, pretty much.
The British ones.
The British ones really pop through. I'm really about that. Well, I am wearing red today. So,
do you also hit yourself multiple times with a hammer?
Not multiple times. I mean, I have hit myself with a hammer, but not
did you
more
know?
than
Well, not multiple times in one sitting.
Right, not more than once in succession.
Did you know that we were supposed to wear blue today to show that we support men's health?
I started off with blue jeans and a blue shirt.
Who's to say I support men's health?
Milton?
As Mikey and I are both sitting here smoking.
Yeah. Milton, Montgomery,
They were not wearing blue today either. Yeah.
That's right. They don't care about nothing.
No.
Except themselves.
They're barely men anymore. They don't have any testicles.
Oh, they got a misterectomy?
Like Mr. MR or...
Yep, that's what he said.
Okay, misterectomy. I thought it was like a misdirect, like misdirectory. Is how I thought you possibly had said it. You're giving me nothing.
I gave you gold. Misterectomy. Misterectomy is gold.
I mean, if that's the guy who's doing it, like that's his name.
Mr. Ectomy.
Hello.
Dr. Ectomy.
Hello, my name is Mr. Ectomy.
Yes, it's my calling to perform this operation procedure.
Crossed a line? Called back?
No.
Red Rover?
No.
See you next Tuesday?
Nah.
No? Okay, we'll keep going.
I mean, what else do we have to do?
I don't spare the listeners by ending when the steam is lost, when the steam's all run out.
Who's to say the steam is gone? We just haven't found it yet.
Who's to say we have listeners?
There was no steam to be lost.
I mean, if the steam forms a line, I can't help you.
It's true. So,
and since the line is just connecting 2 points, I mean, that's pretty much anything on Earth. I can't find it. I can't find anything.
Only straight lines. You can find any line that's not straight.
I got it.
Yeah, that wasn't
like the line outside the saloon. Heyo. No.
Yes, close.
Come on.
They can't. Yeah, I got it. Because they can't go in a straight line. They can't walk.
It wraps around. It wraps around the block.
Oh, I thought it was because they were a bunch of winos.
I thought he was making a joke about them being a bunch of homosexuals.
Well, you guys both.
Sorry. a flock of homosexuals.
See, I'm.
See you next Tuesday.
Ah!
Ah.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
The life stuff.